What's going on, world? What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group, presented by MFTKFoundation.com. Oh, Jesus. MFTKFoundation.com is the go-to website for all things MFTK related. We just had a couple big events. Well, big event in Tallahassee this past weekend. I'm sure we'll get to that here and some of the other different things that we have going on. That's why we missed our show on Friday. I got to get better with the road stuff. That's why I used to leave on that Thursday, but tough with having the boys in season with their sports basically, and all the other shenanigans that are shenaning. But outside of that, let's get our show started the same way we get each and every show started, with a word of prayer.
You already know what time it is, dog. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God, for another day. Thank you, God. God is great. All the time. All the time. Nobody wanna thank you, God. Thank you, God.
And of course, we Twitter is down, so we got to get people on. Got to come over to the YouTube to get it and get other stuff going on. So hopefully people have their notifications on so that they can know when the show is up and running. Outside of that, what we got to talk about today, Jaden?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Big Games BS here on June 22nd. This is your first time at the show. Welcome. And if you're wondering why it's called Big Games BS, it's because we bring the good, the bad, and the BS of the sports world, especially football, to your screens, eyes, and ears. First things first, we got a couple of topics to touch up on that you might be familiar with, and we got a recap of the Tally Legends football camp. We're going to do some more promo as well before getting into the NCAA. We got some FSU topics to touch on before we move from the ACC to different conferences, looking at QBs, coaches, and giving you guys some updates with players as well. Then we're going to transition from the college football world to the NFL world. Not too much news this past weekend, but we got some money to talk about. We got some extensions we want to touch up on with you guys. And then we're going to break down some numbers and stats before getting into our Big Games BS section, where we try to bring the scope of the convo outside of the typical football and sports world. We have our BS or Bussin' food review segment in this section, and then we're going to finish off our show with a question for you guys and a video. The question is this OG Wyland? So we're going to come back to that later on in the show. But first things first, before we show the Tallahassee Legends football camp recap video, let's talk about the Southeast High School 7-on-7 football classic. James, break this down for everybody who's wondering how they can win that $10,000 in cash prizes.
Well, you got to get your high school involved. $500 entry fee, and 5 games guaranteed, 4 games of pool play, 1 game of tournament play, and we break it down to the best teams and point differentials, and then we line up, and it's all gas, no brakes once we get into bracket play. But you gotta want to be able to do it first. We had there was a couple of the ones that are like this. So if you want to see what we're trying to do, last year it was only one. It was the Crib Classic. and that one's on July 18th this year. But this year, there've been a lot of other people who have done similar things. Like they just did the Muck Classic. Ed White High School from up here in Jacksonville went down to the Muck Classic and performed pretty decently. They beat Carroll City in pool play, and they beat Northwestern. But then, and they got so braggadocious. I mean, they started telling everybody they wanted all the smoke. And they said, like, hey, somebody got on there, Thumbelina got on there and said, hey, I want to, like, where's Mandarin? Tell Mandarin to stop ducking us. And then, like I always tell people, the Chrysler 300 looked like a Phantom until the Phantom show up. Pool play and tournament play are two different plays. And boy, when the real heat showed up, Carroll City ended up winning it all. And Carroll City has No Haircut Nick, and No Haircut Nick did No Haircut Nick things. And it was amazing. But it is what it is what it is. But this is what we're trying to create here, getting these teams lined up. Getting people, a lot of people like to talk about how their team is overlooked, but then when it's time to get the look, they don't want to, they looking for stuff to get under. And that's all I can say about that. But it should be a good event. Cannot wait for it. It's going to be well run. And each team will be guaranteed to have 2 games that are streamed live on Den Media Group and Big Games Gridiron.
Make sure you guys pop out to the Southeast High School 7-on-7 Football Classic. If you are any high school coaches hearing this video, for sure, love to see that competition. And we got to talk about some legends. We have to recap a football camp, or 2 football camps that occurred in the West Florida region this past weekend. First, we have a video courtesy of WCTV of the Tallahassee Legends football camp recap for you guys with some familiar faces. So I'm going to share this video with you guys, and let's take a look at the great work done in the community.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You got to play it.
Oh, yep. Give me 1 second, y'all. The tab did not have sound. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to reshare it with you guys and make sure you can hear it, because definitely want you guys to hear this for sure. So got it back up. Thank you guys for your patience. And let's look at the recap.
Got to get out here and give back to your community that helped build you. To be able to come and spread positivity and, show them, how hard work can pay off.
Yeah, that's always the goal for these summer football camps that are hosted seemingly every weekend in our area this time of year. On Saturday, 2 more camps. We'll start with one at Lincoln High School, appropriately dubbed
he doesn't really need glasses.
Legends Camp, hosted by 4 local stars: former Childs Timberwolf turned Florida State Seminole and now New England Patriot Amari Gaynor, Florida High turned Florida State Seminole James Coleman, Lincoln's Pat Watkins, who played 5 years in the NFL, and for the first time this year they added a Super Bowl champion, BJ Daniels, who also went to Lincoln. About 120 kids took to the Trojans turf for the free camp. This camp was started last year, and the hope remains the same. And not only give these kids some tips from the pros, but show them that they can achieve whatever they want.
Trey in the background.
I can say I met President Obama. I won the Super Bowl. I played with the Seahawks, but I started in Tallahassee. I started here on these same exact football fields and worked hard. But I want them to be able to look at me and say, hey, you know what? I think I can do some of the same things that this gentleman, BJ Daniels, has done, because he grew up in this city and with the exact same path that they're about to embark on themselves.
And I'm proud of any other inspired kids coming up. If the kids that don't know me didn't have a chance to watch me play, but had a chance to watch DJ play and Amari. So like I said, it's just about the process of continuing, like being able to have this continuing and just keep it going for years to come.
A half hour away in Gadsden County, another local star kicked off his first ever football camp. Joshua Farmer, who suited up in high school for the Jaguars just 6 years ago before playing college ball at Florida State, hosted about 100 kids ages 7 to 17. Farmer saying this Big Bend community raised him to be what he is today. The current New England Patriot is hoping to make some kind of difference with this camp and says it definitely won't be his last one.
this is where it started at, and just want to get back and if I can change one person's life, and maybe he can change another, and we can keep this rolling.
What do you hope that you instilled in these kids' lives today?
Yeah, man. The main thing is don't smoke or drink and just work hard. I think a lot of kids do those things.
Hey, my boy John Cooper in the background.
They'll be successful.
Fifth quarter.
It ain't rocket science. It's not.
I will say this. I'm not saying Josh. I don't know if Josh. I don't think Josh does. Josh wouldn't lie about that. But we gotta stop telling these kids stop smoking. That smoking and drinking is not gonna lie, brother. Some of the one of the I ain't gonna say who, but somebody in the chat mentioned one of my good teammates' friends, and he's the reason why I don't judge people because that boy was like I think that helped him play better football. Smoking. Best game I ever played was when I was hungover. Don't do that often, but I'm just saying it probably has other issues that down the road. But yeah, Crefonzo, when Lincoln had a squad, like I was going through looking at that 02, that 01 Lincoln squad, 01 football season, 02 grad class. Even if you go to the 2000s team and the 2001 class, like the people who were on it with the people who were supposed to be on it would have been one of the most iconic teams in high school history. Shout out to David Wilson, who was the athletic director and the head football coach at Lincoln then. But out at that camp, something that I really like to talk about is something that I really like to bring up that's not noticed. It was noticed at Josh's camp because I recognize some of the people. But I want to make sure that even when I do my camps that I tell people like, hey man, I'm just here for a weekend. Like I'm like these guys these other coaches who came out and sacrificed and donated their time, those are the real people. Like those are the ones that are going because I never had I think Coach Jesse Solomon did play pro. I believe Coach Nixon went JUCO. All of my other coaches, they went to college, but they didn't play college ball. And I think that needs to be stressed more. Most of these kids are going to be impacted by men who will never achieve anything that we achieved. And you got to give big ups to those guys. Like I said, those are the real MVPs for camps like that, as well as the parents. I always tell them kids, man, y'all need to go honor your parents, man, because shit, like, it was hot as hell out there though.
These players are actually there working with the kids. It's not just a camp in name.
Yeah. And like
it's cheaper.
It's free.
Yeah, free. Those other camps be so expensive.
Like I tell people I refuse to charge. I could. We should. Or if we charge, like I may charge a little bit, like $10. But I want to give them a $10 gift card. Like the only reason I believe you should charge a little bit is if you pay that money, you're gonna see. They're gonna show the fuck up, right? If you don't pay, then I'm like, okay, well, I just won't show up, and it really messes everything up. But I think the world, I think that it's needed, it's necessary, and kudos to that. Shout out to the camera people who the only time I ever get pictures of myself is when I'm working at camps or if somebody else takes because I don't like taking pictures like where I have to stop. Like you gotta get the candid pictures. Those are the best ones. So yep, cool stuff. Which I guess leads me into why the frustration will be and why we need to get more things pushed out, why I need more people talking, why I need more things going on. But this is the 7th annual community give back. It's exhausting trying to get this stuff going, but just trust and believe me that we need more things out here like this. We there's other give backs, there's other stuff. One of the things that I really do hope to happen and to achieve one day is everybody kind of getting on the same page and working together so that they realize that we can all get way more if we pool our resources. I don't think, people have quite caught on to that yet, but we'll start off on July 18th. we'll get more information about where that one will be. We'll also have July 25th, July 26th in Tallahassee, where it all started. And then we'll have 2 dates in Jacksonville. August 2nd will be my youth football camp. And then on August 8th will be the book bag drive and distribution. So $36. There's some things that we have to change up in Tallahassee, but also, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to line item shit and just tell people like, hey, here's what we need, here's what the costs are. So Second Harvest will give you give you enough food. Now this is a week's worth of groceries. 100 people or 100 families for $750. So that's not a lot. It's not, I mean, that's 7.5, that's $7.50 per family, if I did my math correct. I want to get as many 750s as we can possibly do so we can make sure that the turnout is incredible at Bond Elementary School. Jacksonville, we're going to work on that, but there's some other things that we're going to have to probably do to be able to acquire more. And that means we have to get we need I gotta do this. I gotta do this whole process by myself. We gotta get the cow, break it down, get a hog, break it down, and find as much fresh produce as we can to be able to supply people with some needs and some wants. I'll probably also have some leftover different things from which isn't noticed on this, from my July 11th give back in Jacksonville, but we are going to need as many hands on deck as possible. And I man, listen, volunteer, time, talent, and treasure. One of the things that you can do the best is, man, just tell somebody. If you have, like, seriously, if your company has a match program, please hit me up. Definitely would love this. Need help. If your company, if you know people, $36, whatever donation they can give, this is literally what is going to go. The more we give, the more we can impact. And we're going to definitely try to make this work as best as we can for the people.
Now we got our MFTK section out of the way. Make sure to stay on your Twitter, stay on your social medias for updates about the annual community givebacks. If we have any alterations to the dates, make sure to keep yourself updated with James's socials for sure. And make sure to tell somebody, and hopefully they'll tell somebody else. Now let's go and stay in the Tallahassee area for a bit, because we got some FSU news to discuss. First things first, we got another commitment for you guys. Class of 2027 wide receiver, Majay Thompson. He is standing at 6 feet tall, weighing about 188 pounds, and he chose the Seminoles over Bama, Georgia, and Wake Forest, saying, "Nole Nation, I'm home."
Okay. Do we have his film?
Pulling it up.
57th ranked class, man. Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's the second. I thought we had 3 receivers committed, but okay, that's the second one. He's from North Carolina. Let's see. Jet sweeps. Oh, I'm hurdling people. Can't do that. Cannot hurdle people. Looks cool though. Okay. High pointed the ball. Another jet sweep. Don't like the way this team looks that they're playing against. quarterback can't read Braille. It's the 17th ranked prospect in North Carolina, 69th ranked wide receiver overall. That's a good play right there. Andrew Ivins, a tightly wound inside receiver that can create explosive plays. Measured right around 5'11", 180 pounds before spring. His senior year tested in the upper percentile 4.40 in the 40-yard, 10.5 broad jump. Shoots out the gate with easy acceleration, shifty with the ball in his hands, and can stack cuts with short stride. Can certainly get vertical with his speed, but tends to do most of his damage in the quick passing game. Will sink hips, but must keep evolving as a route runner and get better to the catch point. Projects as a potential offensive weapon at a power 4 level that could add value as a return man. Plays fourth in the 55-meter dash in North Carolina indoor meet. His junior year, he finished with 53 catches, 865 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Also had a punt return touchdown. And his sophomore year, he had 46 catches for 746 yards and 7 touchdowns. So at least he's had some production. So, okay. That's I mean, listen, if they have a plan for it. Personally, I still would like to see something other than that, but I'm not gonna be upset for a guy who he wants to be a Seminole clearly. So kudos.
On3 has been going through their conference coaching rankings, head coaching specifically, and Andy Staples of On3 decided to rank the ACC head coaches, and I just wanted to see how James
is down to put us back up on Twitter on both of them. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
See where James ranks these coaches and if James agrees with the Andy Staples rankings right here. First things first, Miami Cristobal is at that one spot according to Andy Staples. Then you got James Franklin, the first-year head coach at Virginia Tech. Then Dabo rounds out your top 3. Then you got SMU, Louisville, Manny Diaz at Duke, Pitt, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, NC State, Mike Norvell at 12, Fran Brown, one notch below, Bill O'Brien, Cal, UNC, and finally the Stanford coach, Mr. Pritchard, at that last spot. James, what do you think about these rankings right here for the ACC head coaches, and what would you change?
All right. So I'm not finna just hate Mike Norvell for no reason. I mean, Mike Norvell has an ACC championship. Should have had 2. He's the last 2 years, really 2 years ago was putrid. Last year they were in it. I'm going to move Mike, and Mike is a top 10 coach in the ACC. Let's be clear on that, man. I'm going to give you right now, I think Rhett Lashley. Well, no, I'm cool with where Red is. Cristobal get into the playoff. James Franklin being a year removed from the championship or a game before the championship. Dabo Swinney having the most conference championships as well as natties, because none of those guys have natties. And then Rhett Lashley, what he's been doing at SMU is pretty good. I think his quarterback is going to be the highest rated quarterback on NCAA, if what I was listening to is correct. Manny Diaz probably needs to go up above Brom, seeing as he's the current ACC champion. Pat Narduzzi is more of a lifetime achievement award. Tony Elliott, I don't think is going to have the same, 1 year doesn't give you that. I believe Brent Key is a good coach, but I don't know. Like, and it's hard because, like, to me, the two best coaches on this list are ranked really, really low because they haven't done anything in college. That's obviously Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is a pretty good NFL coach and was damn good at Penn State during the time when they were on probation. And come on, man, we all know Belichick is the GOAT when it comes to NFL stuff, but he's old. But if we're going by just last year, then okay. But I still believe I think Mike just got to be like Mike. Brother, I'm rooting for you, Mike. The more everybody else is ganging up on Mike is making me want to defend him more. And it's hard. It's hard. I don't know what I'm defending quite yet, but like, fuck that shit, man. Come on, Mike, knuckle up, buckle up. Like, I can't argue Cristobal right now. Franklin is doing a pretty good job in terms of recruiting as well. Dabo's Dabo. Dabo's getting the Bobby treatment right now until, proven otherwise. I mean, that's all I got, man. I don't. The list is kind of, but again, it's still mid. Our coaches we need to have. Some of these teams should be better in life than what they're being right now. So for me to even argue about who's the better coach is arguing who's the tallest midget.
According to Ira Scofield, don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but
I don't know how to say Ira's name. All these years, I still don't know. I do not know the proper way to pronounce Ira's name. I've been saying Schofel.
It looks like Schofel, but Mr. Ira, anyways, reported to War Chant that after reportedly considering 7 cities, the FSU and Georgia football teams are planning to play their upcoming neutral site game in Nashville, Tennessee, James, the home of the Super Bowl in 2030. Is this surprising to you with their selection of Nashville as the host of their neutral site game?
Yeah, I'm happy though. I mean, the people who are complaining about Nashville are also people who don't go to games. Like, free game by big game. Every time there's been so what we have is when they made it. JD, you've been in the Champions Club before, right?
No, I have not.
Wow, we gotta change that. Well, I mean, then again, you're young. You're okay with being a Gen Pop in the heat. Champions Club is posh. Air conditioned, soda fountains. They got real gourmet, regular ballpark food like your hot dogs and your cheeseburgers and things of that nature. And then they got good old fashioned, like they got pizza there. They got some high end shit. It's delicious. They got carving stations. Like the Florida game, they'll have Thanksgiving meal. Some of it's delectable. And people bitched about that. Who's going to want to sit there? They took away the poor people's seats to make this for the Champions Club now to be one of the hottest tickets in the stadium. Then I got deboed out of my section 36, because they decided to make a sideline club. By the way, it looks beautiful over there. And I'm sure in a couple of years it'll be good. All in all, every time people complained about not having seats, why are you taking away seats? The people need to afford. They're making the stadium less affordable for all of those people who bitched about affordability to not buy tickets even when it was more affordable. See, the key of keeping games away like this are to make it profitable for the schools. So Nashville's probably going to write, when they do the numbers, they're probably going to just straight up write a fucking check for $5+ million, plus the hotel stays, plus getting them there. And that's going to be the end of it. From a business perspective, that's all that you can ask for. It's free. So like, let's just, what's that? I think Doak is at 65,000 now. 65K times, let's say 85 for a ticket. That's not what all the tickets are, but let's just say that's for the top game, right? So if y'all can remember, somebody put 5.5 million in the chat so I can come back to that. 65 times. The cheapest tickets are typically between 20 and 40. I'm going to go 30 for the directional school game. Oh, my bad. I put the wrong thing. 65,000 times 30. So that's 1 point. Let's say 2 million. So any given weekend, just strictly off of ticket sales, FSU is going to make between $2 and $5.5 million from ticket sales. Now, you have to fund the entirety of that shit. When you play these directional schools, you have to pay them to get there. You have to put out concessions. Let's just say the average family spends, because again, some people aren't going to spend any money because they don't have it. Some people are going to spend $20. All right, so you make another 1.3 million. And this is if the game is sold out and we don't sell out games. So any given point, FSU can make between 3.3 and close to $6 million if I'm rounding up. We'll go round up 3.5 to $6 million. That's not including cost. That's not including security. You have to pay the sheriffs to be there. They're not volunteering. They pay sheriff, TPD, and FSU PD overtime fees. They have to pay the concession stand people. They have to pay Legends was doing that. Actually, my bad. I apologize. Legends is gone now. We didn't even get the full. Legends wrote us a check and people bitched about it. So you outsource the guarantee you got the money and let Legends take care of everything else. And people didn't like that either. Rightfully so. I had gripes with Legends. But you still got to pay you still got to pay Tallahassee Sheriff. I mean, you got to pay Lyon County Sheriff. Got to pay TPD, Tallahassee Police Department. Got to pay FSU PD. You got to pay the security. You got to pay the janitors. You got to pay the lights. You got to pay the Wi-Fi. That's why a lot of this stuff doesn't compute to you. Why go through all of that struggle when I can just get $5 million to go play? Do you see the point? And on top of that, you're guaranteed you know when you make that matchup, you're guaranteed TV time, which puts you, again, boasts you up into the stratosphere as far as trying to get a percentage of the ACC deal so you can stay at that top. Whether you're winning or losing, you stay in the top. Then you're going and you're invigorating there's a Nashville Seminole Club. There's Seminole clubs there in Tennessee. There's other things that are there. Now you can you can allow people to pay to be able to use your licensing. So there's a lot of other different business and fiscal matters that would not be the case if we would just act like, since we want to pretend like our program is a shit show like Nebraska. I wish our fan base would act like Nebraska. Nebraska hasn't had a game Nebraska has had they've had straight sellouts since before black people could play on their football team. Since everybody wants to pretend it was so long ago, think about it like that. That's how many consecutive years Nebraska has had a sellout. And you know what happens when you have that many consecutive years of sellouts? You don't have to make all of the modernization changes in which you're forced to do. That's how you make it happen, guys. But I'll tell you this much. I would have loved to have seen UGA in Tallahassee. I was not. I've been to Athens once. Once is enough. I may go back again to like do some other stuff, but like I do not want to. Athens and Clemson are, trust me when I tell you, if you've never been, are two places where you just really just don't want to go deal with that shit. Traffic in Miami is one thing. You see nice cars, you see nice people, you kind of understand it's fucking Miami. Traffic in bumfuck Georgia or bumfuck South Carolina is not fun. There's no hotels to stay at near those places. You have to stay in Atlanta. So, or Atlanta for both of them, you damn near got to stay in Atlanta. The nicest hotel in Clemson when I stayed, I believe I stayed there, was it a Staybridge? And I paid premium bucks for it. All I'm saying is, enjoy it. Go to Pancake Pantry. Nashville's a nice city. If you want to gamble, go to Franklin, Tennessee, which is right outside of it. They got like a nice little gambling spot 24/7 that you can go find some stuff to do. It's really, really nice.
It's really nice to see this video pop up across our timelines as FSU fans. And if you guys aren't familiar with this story, with Ethan Pritchard's story, man, he has come from the bottom and recovered. And we have a video of him showing that he can walk now. Yes, while he's continuing to strengthen and rehab his body. So we have the video for you guys of Ethan taking those first steps to a successful road of recovery right here.
That's good. Like he looking diesel too. I told somebody I wouldn't be shocked if he plays again, and he's gonna be a menace. Anybody who can take a shot to the people get shot in the head scare me and survive. Like, because was it what was it? What is Wolverine? Animanium? It's not titanium. What's the is your skull made of that? Adamantium or vibranium? Like, what the heck is going on, man? But kudos to him, and shout out to his dad. I know his Father's Day feels more fulfilling knowing that his son is amongst the living in a situation that could have been really, really bad. But yeah, before we move on from Florida State to, nobody has this. Y'all ready to take your stuff out? Y'all can go. I'm giving you news that you could possibly use. Probably not, but it's up to you. Nobody else has this. Hold on, make sure I'm getting this correct. August 5th through the 8th, FSU will make their annual trip, since Mike Norvell's been there, to Jacksonville, Florida, to get away from the monotony of camp and to be able to practice at University of North Florida. So everybody knows I've been doing that year in and year out. It's a pretty cool vibe, pretty good stuff. I would definitely be at that. Yeah, because the boys aren't in school this go around. Some years the boys are in school, some years they're not. I think that's right before they go to school. They will be here, what did I say, August 5th through the 8th, yeah. So they'll leave the day of my book bag drop. The Jags are also going to do a scrimmage at UNF on August 7th. So I have the full itinerary. They'll be in town. I'm gonna go hang out with them. I'm gonna try to hang out with them at Dave & Buster's that day. They get here Wednesday night. And they'll practice on D-Mac is gonna speak. We're supposed to be B-man. But they'll practice in the morning. They have 24 periods. Thursday and Friday, they'll be practicing. And then they get like another little practice walkthrough on Saturday morning. And then they'll head back to Tallahassee. Just thought that was pretty cool. So that's some news. Y'all heard it here first. FSU will be practicing again in Jacksonville. It'd be funny because I got the whole contract. I know how much it costs and all that shit, man. Like just things that come across my desk because of people who I know. And alumni. Again, the day we start actively using our alumni base will be a splendid affair. But I think we'll get more recruits. I think we'll be more happy as a fan base because people will feel like they're winning in life. But right now we got a bunch of I don't want to, because again, I want these kids to be successful, and I wasn't the highest rated recruit either. But like a lot of these people, this is like I'm tired of the Make-A-Wish style fucking recruiting we got going on, man.
Let's see who are some of your favorite SEC quarterbacks that's going to be playing in 2026, James. I know you spoke highly of the number one player on this list, Mr. Chambliss. And let's see who else is on this list. You have Arch Manning, Gunnar Stockton, Sam Levitt, and Byron Brown to round out your top 5. So, James, from that top 5 right there, who are you looking forward to see mostly at that quarterback position for these SEC squads?
Well, I just got some real good info about Byron Brown this past weekend, chopping up with my guy. Blow that back up, Jaden. Wait a minute, hold up. So they shitting on my boy, they shitting on my boy Trammell? Hold on, make sure I get this right. You know what? This is good. I ain't even gonna tell him what's funny. Until you do right by Trammell, everything you gonna do is gonna suffer. The team that I'm ready for Trinidad James to ball out. I think John Mateer needs to be in that top 5. I think he's going to be, and Keelan Russell will be guys that I believe are going to be better than some of those guys. I don't think Sam Levitt or Gunnar Stockton are going to be top 5 quarterbacks this year. Definitely don't believe Byron Brown will be one. Trinidad James, Arch, Simmons, Russell, Mateer. That should be your top 5. Marcel Reed will probably be in that. It still needs to be in that top 10 somewhere. Outside of that, it's just a lot of mid. Again, they're going to talk about how competitive the conference is, but it's going to be a lot of running. It's not going to be a lot of throwing involved. Because those are that aren't, and the quarterback play is going to consistently get bad until we get away from, until somebody actually has to sit and develop somebody. But nobody's doing that.
Speaking of the SEC, this is the updated Rivals Industry team recruiting rankings for the SEC. So this post was posted on X on June 17th. And let's look at the rankings as of that date. So you had Texas A&M at number 1. No surprise there. Oklahoma, Florida, Texas, Auburn to round out your top 5. Then you have Georgia, LSU, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and the team most people were shocked to see at this position, Alabama at 16. James, for a common football fan who may have heard about the Alabama dominance through the Saban years, and they come across this picture right here, how can you explain Bama being at the bottom of the team recruiting rankings for the SEC for that 2027 class?
West Coast recruiting style. I know they call it Yankees North. What do they call Pacific Northwestern people? Is there tree loving bunny huggers or some shit like that? Like, he's a West Coast coach. He needs to stay out there, dog. Like, he's just not. He doesn't. That's why everybody's like, "You're been road tired." That motherfucker Saban ain't walking through that motherfucking door. Like, that's why I was so confident. People are like, "Why are you so confident coming off of 2-10, James?" Because that ain't Bama that we've known. Like, and if you looked at any Washington team, they blow up and they done good. Even when they got to the championship, when they faced some dudes that was like that, they ain't give a fuck. Like, them dudes slapped them Washington boys around, and that's kind of what's happening with Bama. It's like, remember we were talking about the stupidity of the ESPN commentator, the quarterback, that said Simpson was better than the guy who looks like the dad from Modern Family, the quarterback from Indiana. For Hernando, yeah, with the drug dealer named Fernando Mendoza. And he's like, but what about when they played against each other? And Mendoza looked exponentially better than Ty. They whooped Ty ass. But the recruit, like, so it is. If you just look in the media every week, Saban is talking about, well, you know, we can't pay these colored players that much because what about all of the things that made America great when we were we got these black boys in the fields and they were happy, they were smiling, singing and doing chants. They didn't want to get paid. They did it for the love. They did it for the love of us getting paid. Why can't we go back to the way things are? So you got the guy that everybody loves. Your figurehead is talking like this. And said, back in my day, they knew their place. So you got that. Then number two, you got the GM saying, well, we don't even let them take an official visit if we can't be on the same page when it comes to the NIL. So now people are thinking you were brokey. And then there's another article that came out that says, wait until the season starts. You're going to see mass holdouts because people aren't getting their bread. All of this stuff is bad. And so that's why I laugh. As bad as effort, like, see, the difference is Alabama media is SEC media in general is trained to not try to make the school look bad. Whereas in our media will sit there and we will roast. For FSU will roast themselves while everybody else is roasting them. You just don't know what's going on. The articles are there. It's just they're not gaining any traction. Now, if that motherfucker loses this year, they're going to try to string him. They ain't going to fire him. They're going to talk about him like Trump talked about his own vice president. String him up. That's what they're going to try to do with that boy. You're going to see him. It's going to be called Alabama Burning. Like, if you go watch Mississippi Burning and look at what happened with that and just apply that shit to football, and that's what Bama's going to do. Because money is of no object there. Football is God. They will pay. And on top of that, believe it or not, Alabama is a big aeronautical and like space type of space engineering school. Like, so they have bread at Alabama. It's just not like, it ain't just a bunch of country bumpkins. It's like if you go back and you go look at some of these SEC schools, some of the things that they're known for is kind of impressive. But that doesn't shock me. LSU being at 7 shocks me because it just means that Lane Kiffin just can't recruit. Because LSU would be in the top 5, if not 1, if they weren't with the other people who were into recruiting. Kentucky is doing a really, really good job with Hove and those guys up there revamping things. But yeah, just and Auburn, just again, Auburn has things rolling. They just do stuff differently there. I believe that some of these schools would be great recruiting because the recruiting is not tied to the head coach. But side note, again, my man told me that Byron Brown, I forgot the boy from Auburn that came to USF, they said that motherfucker can't read Braille. They said you gotta draw the defense in coloring crowns for him to be able to know what's going on.
We got some news, guys. I'm sorry if we sound like a broken record, but the news and the storyline keeps getting juicier and juicier. So, according to Brendan Sorsby's agent, Ron Slavin, he claims Cincinnati knew about the gambling addiction and took no action. Quote, if anybody should be questioned or catching heat, it should be Cincinnati, because they knew for 2 years and never said anything or didn't do anything about it. That's the part of the story that gets lost. So, James, it looks like the agent said, I had enough of this, decided to start airing it out, man. Brendan Sorsby's agent, Ron Slavin, with these words right here. What do you think about his agent coming out and putting that blame back on Cincinnati after the news of Sorsby going to the supplemental NFL draft?
You're trying to make him a victim in an overall bigger scheme to make a better case to NFL teams. But what it really sounded like is there's this classic, and I wish more different types of movies, but there were plenty of different types of movies that were made. But in the 90s, there was a slew of hood movies made, inner city urban core dramas. There was one called New Jack City. Great. It put the whole sound. New Jack Swing should have never gone away. It's a great version of R&B, just fun stuff. But the villain in all of this, in this movie, was a guy by the name of Nino Brown. And Nino Brown finally was about to face his punishment. But then he got on the stand and he made a great monologue about how America made him this way. And then in order to save himself to where he did not have to do the time, or some of the punishment was going to get shined away, as he stood up and he fixed his suit and said that this is bigger than Nino Brown. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole bunch of people with me. And they worked out a plea deal. And that's basically what his agent just said, that this is bigger than Brendan Sorsby. If he's going down, I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm taking all of these motherfuckers down because they knew I was gambling. If you've seen the Righteous Gemstones in the first season, one of the sons of the mega church got caught. Because again, I know some of y'all can't relate to the hood shit, but y'all can relate to this mega church shit. He got caught in like an orgy. And he couldn't just say it was just him. He couldn't just go down by himself. He had to say all of his friends was there too. It now fucked up their whole lives. They wives looking at them crazy. So that's basically what Brendan said. If y'all gonna throw me under the bus, fuck that. Cincinnati, you should have done a better job protecting me. I hate this kind of, by the way, it's definitely not somebody I don't want no snitches in my locker room. But that's basically what he's doing, is snitching.
Let's transition from the college to the big stage, to the big league. Let's start off the NFL talk with none other than our beloved Jaguars 904's North Florida's team, the First Coast team. And James, we got a great one. The Jaguars are signing long snapper Ross Matisic to a 2-year extension worth $3.8 million in new money. So he is the NFL's new highest paid long snapper. He made 3 straight Pro Bowls as well. So shout out to the long snapper for getting that chicken for sure. For sure. Just wanted to update you guys and show some love to the special teams.
How you make the Pro Bowl as a long snapper? I have no idea, but kudos to him.
If Shador and Tyler Huntley can do it, he can do it too. He can do it too. Shout out to Ross Matisic for sure. And James, we got some more prime insight on the Travis Hunter both sides of the ball situation here in Jacksonville. So Yahoo Sports posed this question: should Travis Hunter play both sides of the ball for the Jaguars? Now, as Jags fans who may have a little bit more insight into the dialogue in the camp between Cohen and the media, we know that they plan to still play Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball. And Prime said the kid won the Heisman Trophy playing both sides of the ball. That's all I've got to say. We've seen a picture of Travis Hunter recently at camp. Looks like he did bulk up, put some weight on for sure, and that'll definitely help him out if he does end up playing cornerback mostly in terms of both sides of the ball, because man, tackling is a big thing as a defender, as a cornerback as well. So I'm happy he put on that size. But James, what do you think Travis Hunter can do to polish his two-way ability coming off of injury, coming into his second year in the NFL?
Deion is going to protect his boy by all costs. Deion played 2 ways, but he doesn't realize he played 2 ways in spurts. It was strategic. You can't master it. That's where the issue comes in. And to be honest with you, Deion, this is where Deion failed him. They didn't put enough mass on him to be able to take the pounding in which he's going to go through in the NFL season. And he did not win the Heisman by playing both, because he actually he did win the Heisman, but it wasn't because of stellar play on both sides of the ball. Travis Hunter is the first person to ever win the Heisman Trophy by sheer amount of plays, because that is what they talked about more than anything else. He was not the number 1 wide receiver, but he probably could have been the number 1 wide receiver if they would have let him focus on playing wide receiver. He was not the number 1 DB in that draft, but it could have been the number 1 DB if they would have probably just let him focus on playing DB. What ended up happening is he became a delusion of a wide receiver and a DB, because he wasn't as great as he could have been on either side, which is fine. But when you get to the NFL, this is the best of the best in those positions. Eventually, hype wears off. You are talking about bringing in the top 1% of the top 2%. Everybody, you have to ask yourself, is it at full strength? Is he one of your top 3 DBs? Okay. If you say yes, then good. We'll put that here. At full strength, is he one of your top 3 wide receivers? Fuck no. He's not better than Parker Washington. There's nothing to prove that he's better than Parker Washington. There's nothing to prove that he's better than Jacoby Myers. And there's damn sure nothing to prove that he's better than BTJ when he's on point. At best, he's the number 4, and you don't do a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. But you know what you can do? You can weave them in when you do 4 wide receiver sets, which is fine, but then you take away one of your key things. You like 11 personnel. You like having a tight end on the field. But when you take him off, we take the tight end and you put him on the field, you know Trevor got to get rid of the ball because you don't have the threat of an additional blocker. Because the one thing I don't want to see him doing is getting physical. Now, going back, can he shut the top wide receiver on the other team? Or can he grow into that? I believe he can. So you got to put him mainly on defense. And maybe if you need him on offense, just sell some fucking tickets, you do it. But man, you're gonna hurt that kid by just fucking making him do shit like that, because it's fucking stupid.
It sucks that we have to celebrate this because, man, this player is in the Jaguars division, the AFC South, one of the best at his defensive tackle position. But I'm not hating that he got paid, just hating that he's staying in our division a little while longer. If you guys are not familiar with who I'm talking about, that is Mr. Jeff Simmons. So the Tennessee Titans have agreed to a 3-year, $35.3 million per year extension. That includes 100 guaranteed, his agent confirmed. So he got that 105 for 3 years, which makes him the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Man, it sucks that he's in our division for sure. Titans and Jaguars have legendary games, but James, Jeff Simmons is going to be a Titan still, but he got his bread. But man, what do you think about Simmons? He's definitely one of the best in the game, and sucks that we got to go against him twice a season.
I mean, get paid, man. Get your bread, man. What do they say? Got to protect your chickens and your mentals. To quote Marshawn Lynch, man, I'm happy for my man.
Shout out to Jeff Simmons on becoming the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. He is the king of our money moves segment for today. So shout out to Simmons, even though you are our op here in Jacksonville, but congratulations. And we got some more news on the Cam Jordan contract situation with the Saints. A long time Saints player right here. And we did cover that the Saints are bringing back one of their franchise giants, 8-time Pro Bowl defensive end Cam Jordan, and this is his 1-year deal. It has a max value of $11 million with a base value of $7.5 million, which is $6.15 million, which is a $6.15 million signing bonus plus a $1.35 million base with $3.5 million in sack incentives. A great deal. So just want to repeat again, the max value of the contract is $11 million, but the base, which is the signing bonus, and the base value is $7.5 million. So he's guaranteed $7.5 million with the option of $3.5 million in sack incentives. Just want to break that down for you guys. So 94 is back in the black and gold. I know he's happy to stay in New Orleans, stay with that team. So just wanted to get into the contract details for Cam Jordan for sure.
I like the money, man.
Shout out these guys getting paid. Let's go. It's always a great feeling to see people's families get supported and everything. So it's great to see families get that life-changing money and players for sure. We touched up on the X factor for every AFC team this next season a couple of shows ago. And now let's look at the NFC and see where James has his opinions on. So if we're going to take a look, we're going to do this column by column. So for the Panthers, you have running back Jonathan Brooks, cornerback Jalen Watson, running back Jadarian Price, and linebacker Dre Greenlaw as the X factors for every NFC team next season. Then the next one, you have Devontae Smith. No surprise there with A.J. Brown going to the Eagles. Austin Booker, Lucas Van Ness, and Marvin Harrison Jr. looking to make some more noise in that Cardinals red uniform. Kyler Murray, no surprise there. He is going to be your starting QB. Did come from the Cardinals, now at the Vikings. Jalen Walker, their draft pick last season, looking to make some damage. Donovan Eziraku, I'm going to butcher this so bad. So Donovan Eziraku, I'm just going to go with that.
Sneeze. That's one of them sneeze names.
Defensive end from the Cowboys, Mr. Donovan. Derek Moore, defensive end from the Lions. Then let's go on to the last column. Emeka Egbuka, their draft pick from last season. Jaden Daniels, hoping to bounce back from injuries. Travis Etienne, not Etienne Jr., running back for the Saints. And finally, you got Malik Nabers.
What?
The last time we heard of Malik Nabers' story, I think it was some news coming that it wasn't a regular injury. I think some things are still lingering around with him, but I think he's on the progress of doing and being great for this upcoming season. I'm pretty sure he's probably at like the 80 to 90% in terms of health wise. I did see some clips of him, so he should be bouncing back as well. But, you know, they did sign Odell as well back to the Giants. So he's going to have a veteran in that locker room, a veteran who played for that New York Giants fan base as well. So these are your X factors for every NFC team next season. James, if you had to look at some of these teams and choose a different X factor, if you would, which teams would you choose and players would you swap out?
I think the Eagles rise and fall with Jalen, so it doesn't matter. So I would change Devonta Smith to Jalen Hurts because the more he throws the ball, the more likely they are to lose. So I know people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. The petite, pretty princess in Carolina. That's again, it's quarterback driven for those two teams. The X factor for LA is Myles Garrett. Atlanta is, I know this is going to strike people because this is who I believe is going to start. Pineapple Boy. Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the starter, and that's the X factor for them. Why can't I think of the wide receiver for the Commanders? Yeah. Scary Terry. That's the guy for them. I'm not calling him Chan. I'm calling him what we've been calling him for his whole life. ETN. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, I covered you for the entire time. You ain't correct us one time. You ain't correct them Bamas in Clemson. You ain't like, nah, dog. Like, nah. Nah, that's how you spell. I believe that's a chain. And he play running back too. But like, yo, and that might be how you say your name. But if you ain't stopped me for over a decade, your name is ETN. But one of the things that I talked about, and if you don't believe me, it's one of our viral reels on IG, where I go and I say he's not really a running back. He's like a slot back. He is Alvin. He's a younger version of Alvin Kamara. And if they can figure out how to get that shit going, New Orleans might fuck around and shock some people in a trash ass division in the NFC South. So it's there for the taking. But that's very interesting and intriguing. Those are the guys who I would say.
Love those picks for sure. And James, you know, we have to talk about the referees. The NFL Referees Association recently with the NFL came to an agreement on how they would be officiating for these upcoming seasons. And James, we got some more news coming from the refs. We're going to show some love to the Zebras right quick because according to Adam Schefter, for the first time, the NFL plans to form a practice squad of up to 12 game officials. What do you think about the referee practice squad, James, in terms of like a accountability floor for the referees in case, you know, somebody has to get called out and called up the practice squad, they can do so. What do you think about Adam Schefter's news right
I think
here?
that's a good way to make sure you continue to control your product and have better referees. I agree.
Love it. Love it. Definitely think it'll be a major accountability piece, like you said. And a lot of people definitely agree with that as well in terms of the Zebras. But we're going to move from practice squad referees to practice squad salary breakdowns. You know, Spot Rack loves to come through with the numbers, James. They are everything. They have all the information in terms of players and contracts. And a lot of people were talking about practice squad players specifically, and especially the chicken associated to that practice squad title. So let's break down the numbers. These are your 2026 NFL practice squad breakdown. 16-player roster, 1 international pathway spot, 6 players with unlimited experience, 10 players with 0 to 2 years of experience, 2 game day call-ups, 3 call-ups per player. So these are your practice squad salaries for your accrued seasons. So 0 to 2 accrued seasons, you're going to be making around $13,750 a week. But 3+ seasons, you're in the range of anywhere from $18,350 to $22,850 per week. And if you guys are wondering what's the timeline for making that practice squad, final cuts are August 30th with practice squads August 31st. So
you want to know what's wild about this?
What is that?
17 weeks, right? 17 weeks in the NFL. 22, like these guys are getting paid more than I got paid on active roster. Like I'm gonna go with the rookie. I'm gonna go with the rookies. Hold on. 13,750 times 17. Yep, they're definitely right there. Right there. And they only gotta work. So you only work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You work 3 days a week. And then you still get all the NFL benefits. And typically they'll call you up. A lot of the guys they'll call up. I guess 3 of the guys now. They'll call up. I mean, two guys they'll call up for a regular game check, which would be close to twice that amount what they're making. So like you're talking about guys that are gonna make $275K. That's good bread right there, man.
Sorry about that. My computer was buffering a little bit, but yes, just wanted to give you guys an update on the practice squad breakdowns and how much money those practice squad players make and the metric they use to base off the pay. So just wanted to share that with you guys before we get into some more stats and news right quick. First things first, let's show some love to the GOATs, man, to the people who have the most receiving touchdowns ever, the wide receivers, and we got to shout out the tight ends as well. Jerry Rice, looks like nobody is beating Jerry Rice with his touchdowns. 197 receiving touchdowns. Randy Moss is behind him in second place, but he is 41. He was 41 touchdowns away, and T.O. was only 3 behind Randy Moss. Those are, man, some great wide receivers. Those 3 should be on everybody's Mount Rushmore for sure. Then you got some of the greatest hands in the game. Chris Carter coming in at 4 with 130. Marvin Harrison, 128. Fitz, 121. DT still active, still playing, looking to beat Larry Fitzgerald this year, 117. Antonio Gates showing some love to it. The first tight end on this list with 116. Second tight end on this list, Tony Gonzalez with 111. And Mike Evans, who's also still active now with the Niners with 108 touchdowns. James, you think Devontae can get up to Marvin Harrison but when it's all said and done, or do you think he'll just get above Fitz?
Oh, he can get to Marvin Harrison. I mean, he can get to Chris, but he ain't getting no higher than that.
Yeah.
Jerry Rice averaged 9.8. Let's just say 10 touchdowns a year. Played 20 years. For Devontae Adams to catch Jerry Rice, he has to play 8 more football seasons. That's insane. That just shows how good. And then Jerry was doing it at a time when they weren't even throwing the football like they throw it now. But scoring a touchdown is difficult to do. That's why I tell people, man, I'm cheering my ass off. If scoring touchdowns was easy, everybody would do it.
Huge shout out to all the legends on this list. We're going to shout out the tight ends and wide receivers who made the biggest impact on that football field for sure. So shout out to them. And we want to give a shout out to the Gore family and to Josh Allen, because this takes the coolest stat of the day for sure. I saw this on ML Football and wanted to share it with you all. So give me 1 second while it is loading, but just wanted to share that Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills, their starting quarterback and their MVP winning quarterback, became the first player in NFL history to complete a pass to both a father and a son during his career. Allen connected with Frank Gore in 2019 and later completed a pass to Frank Gore Jr. during a 2026 playoff game. So just wanted to share that with everybody. Thought that was a really, really cool stat because Josh Allen is the first ever player to have that father and son connection. I thought that was a real dope stat to include. So thought that was cool. Shout out to that Gore family for sure. And shout out to Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills. Now, James, we have a good one for you today in our Big Games BS section. We got 2 things I want to show you, and it should bring us home. But the first one, is going to cause a lot of controversy and commotion in the chat, I'm hoping for. So we have our Big Games BS section for you guys, where we do our food review section, our BS or Bussin' segment, and we have one question we want to ask you guys. Is the OG wildin'? So that's going to be the last video for you all. But first, we love to discuss some grub, some food, some crazy food items. And we got one for you today that's a little bit out the ordinary. So we got Stefan Johnson. He does a lot of the food content, food voiceovers, and he decided to do a bacon wrapped smoked honey bun. Let's see if this is BS or if it's bussin'.
All that sugar caramelizes. Bacon wrapped smoked honey buns.
Big Back University, things keep getting worse. It just tickled the tank. Today we're doing it. Okay, so we got 2 supple honey buns right here. Our stripped bacon. This ain't rocket science, kids. We're gonna go in and we're going to wrap. I'm gonna need 2 per, right? All right, why not? First abomination, done. And you know what? It. For the next one, let's double wrap it. We'll do 4 strips of bacon. Why not? I don't want to see any pastry on here. The most unholy mummy you will ever meet in your life. That's what you want right there. That's what you want. We're gonna put these on a wire rack. Now out to the smoker. So we have them on the pellet smoker. We're gonna let them go until they get crispy. Stay tuned. And I almost forgot I got this espresso barbecue rub. Just to get all the big back breakfast action going, Oh, and don't worry about why you see extra bacon strips on there. See what we're looking like. Oh my God. Oh, this is gonna be so good. I'll be damned. A bacon wrapped honey bun. Look at this double. Golly. You see that caramelized icing? Oh boy, getting so heavy. So excited, you guys. Let's go. The interior of the bun stays so cakey, almost takes on a muffin consistency, but the outer rim gets so crispy, it's almost like a cookie. And the bacon is crispy and fatty, the oil's still intact. Oh, let's take a bite of the double wide, girl.
All right, so the first one, he added sound to it. He made it way bigger, made crunchier than what it was, but yeah.
That's a little risque.
I love, but I'm gonna say this. We all like pork. Everybody who likes ham, you eat it with the pineapple, right? Or you like a little sweet glaze. So this is kind of like a reverse. Just give you some savory with the sweet. Right. But I mean, If the bacon's crispy, I'm rocking with it. I just don't like soggy bacon, man. You know, you ever gone to places like you get the bacon on the sandwich, and the bacon don't be like crispy? Like, man, who out here eating limp bacon, man? ED bacon. I think I rock with it because I'm going to sleep. I'm going to go to sleep afterwards, but yeah, I'm rocking with it.
James, the topic of gentle parenting has come up in conversation because one of the most known sports talking heads decided to post a video of him disciplining his son, decided to post it on socials, and a lot of people had something to say about his decision to post the video on social media. If you guys aren't familiar with the story of who I'm talking about, it's former NFL wide receiver Brandon Marshall. He was disciplining his son, filming his son running, jogging in the middle of the night, yelling stuff at him while he's driving in his car. So I'm going to play the video for you guys and see how James reacts to the video done by Mr. B. Marsh, former NFL wide receiver, played on the Jets, played on the Dolphins, played on the Broncos, couple more teams in the mix as well. But let's see if this OG is wild.
It's no different than when we were in LA, Santa Monica, running at midnight on the pier. We wanted to do that. We love to do that. And then there's correction. Then there's discipline. You're walking, run. Discipline, correction is good. Even 2 a.m, we run. I don't got to put my hands on you. But I'm training you up to be a warrior. I'm training you to be a leader, to serve, to have discipline, to be better than me. Run. Let's go. If you don't start running, we're going to go 3 miles. So you better start running because you don't know when I'm going to tell you to stop. You don't want to listen? We run. We work. 2 a.m. Let's go. Faster. I'm driving 3 miles per hour. You should be going at 8 or 9 miles per hour right now. Go. If this truck don't get to 9 miles per hour, I promise you we're going all the way to the gas station, which is 3 miles. Down and back is 3 miles. I'm at 4 miles. I'm at 5. I'm at 6. There we go. Now we moving.
A little bit.
Run.
Too much for him.
Discipline.
I understand where he's coming from.
That's how you gonna learn it. Come on.
See, the funny thing about this, one, outside of who it is, B. Marsh is batshit crazy, but what definitely was a beast. Even then, like I think we confuse sometimes the person that we either do business with or the person that like the character from the parent. And in a world where they say that this could be considered AI because apparently black fathers don't exist, not people who make bad decisions, but black fathers don't exist. But you see a black father, and he even said, "I don't have to hit you." He's showing him what it takes, and I deal with it all the time. Like my sons listen to people who ain't never been in my shoes more than they listen to me, and this shit's frustrating. To be honest with you, it's easier punching them fucking in the chest when they don't listen to you. But creating a teachable moment is even better. One, hitting him is just going the soreness and the irritation of the skin is going to go away. But why not? All right, cool. Let's get better. Like it's pulling teeth to get them out of the bed sometimes, but they say they want something that you achieved without having the resources that you had, what they have. So in theory, they should go further. But the difference is in the mentality of what it takes to be able to do it. It is very difficult to make somebody have that mentality when you've sacrificed a lot to make sure that they don't have some of the things that created that mentality to come up in. And that might have gone over a lot of people's heads because you never had to grow up in the inner city. But I wish I could bottle the inner city mindset and sell it. More people would be more successful, especially those with more tools. But it reminded me about what happened on Friday. And I made a shout out to Travis Norton. If you're in Tallahassee, Chaos Training Center is where you need to go. I'm gonna read what I said about my boy Travis, who played Division I ball. And Miles, when I tell you, I gotta pause myself because there's no other way to say this. Miles, he was all in Trey's ass. Pause. Like, I'm talking about Trey's never been talked to like that before in coaching. And he looked at me, and you know what I did? I looked away. I'm not gonna save you. He didn't put his hands on you. He said me. He didn't say. He said harsh, the right thing, the harsh way. And sometimes that's just what you need to hear. He didn't do it right. And the first thing he said, you a little spoiled boy because your daddy was great. Get to the front, get to the back of the line and do it again. And he kept sending them back. And the face that was on, he said, you can make that face all you want. You ain't going nowhere until you do it right. And to be honest with you, it reminded me of guys like Joe Nixon. It reminded me of even my college coach, like one of the favorite, don't give me the fuck you eyes. Like, you know, so like they talk to you in a manner in which you need to. Because we try to make everything so soft, so sanitized, so this. And that's not the way the world is, especially for men. I say black men, because I'm sorry, I don't know what it's like to be a white man. Maybe it is. But I know this. Nobody gives I always say this. I get down. I get sad. But nobody, the coolest thing about sports is sports taught me that nobody gives a fuck because they care about the end result. Don't talk to me about the pregnancy. Show me the goddamn baby. And when he show you the baby, they don't know how many times you got fucked in order to have the baby. And right now, he is preparing him for something that's a lot tougher. And it ain't just sports. And any dad knows it is Brandon Marshall, because when Brandon Marshall was on top, he was getting praised. When Brandon Marshall fucked up, the world came after him. And what happens is you have to figure out a way, and the only way you know how to get out of that is the pain of discipline that you put in yourself. And if you're a Christian, one of my favorite Bible verses is by Paul, where he talks about he beat his body so that he could not be disqualified from the prize. You have to, I beat my body and I make it my slave. It's 3 miles. It's 3 miles there and back, right? That ain't going to kill you. Not at all. Is it annoying? Fuck yeah. Do you feel like doing it? Like I tell Trey, one of the things I'm having to tell this motherfucker at 13 and Tyler too much. Like right now, I'm getting texts about where you at?
He knows for years.
Bitch, I'm recording. I don't feel like stopping what I'm doing to go get him. I was like, if I lived by, I don't feel like, you wouldn't get shit. You wouldn't be here.
Oh my gosh.
But I like what he's doing. But shit, now I got a business to take care of. So now everybody wants to call me. So, but on that note, man, I appreciate you, Jay, and appreciate everybody else. Thank y'all for chopping up with me. We will see you guys on Wednesday.